Wow, good morning. This is Dialogue Box on Blossom Nigeria, and you are welcome to this beautiful episode. We are actually talking our nation in the right direction, and we know that with your contribution, every one of us contributing our quota to nation building, we are getting things to be in the right dimension, and every one of us definitely we have something in us that our nation can benefit from. So with that, this morning we are going to be talking about building a viable economy amidst Nigeria's foreign loans. We started on that yesterday, where we talked about the fact that the foreign debt profile of Nigeria has been very, very high. And the way it has been, for a lot of investors, it might be a discouraging factor because it calls for deflation, it calls for different negative circumstances, even taking advantage of the core infrastructure we have as a nation. And the lender nations can use it as a means of, let's call it a new form of neo-colonialism. So, but for now, with the issues on ground, we can't deny the fact, but what is the way forward and how can we work towards forging a more viable economy? And that's what we are discussing this morning. So you will be joining us. You send us your opinion, your comments and your thoughts on this on 09052525107. You can also reach us on 08030887339. So wherever you are, you can call us. So this morning we'll still give you some more news updates depending on areas where we think maybe is getting our attention, so that we can address the nation or address the government in one way or the other. But for now, we'll start directly with our discussion, which is building a viable economy amidst Nigeria's foreign loans. So now we have it that from the records we have, data obtained from the Debt Management Office has shown that between 2010 and March 31, 2020, 11 loan facilities have been obtained from China Exim Bank. That is, Nigeria has obtained a minimum of 11 loan facilities from the China Exim Bank from 2010 to 2020. And all the loans have a 7-year grace period, 20 years tenor, and were obtained at 2.5% interest rate. They, however, have different varying maturity rates. So the projects for which China's loans to Nigeria were obtained include infrastructural projects like the Nigerian National Public Security Communication System Project. We also have the Nigerian Railway Modernization Project. That's the Idu Kaduna section. We have the Abuja Light Rail Project. These are some of the projects for which the loans were obtained. Then we also have the Nigerian ICT Infrastructure Backbone Project and the Nigerian 4 Airport Terminal Expansion Project, the expansion of airports in Abuja, Kano, Lagos, and Port Harcourt. We also have other projects like the Zungeri Hydroelectric Power Plant power project. That's also one of the projects that called for the obtaining of the loan facility from China. Then another one is a 40 parboiled rice processing plant project. That's under the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development. We have another one, the Nigerian Railway Modernization Project from Lagos to Ibadan section. We also have the Nigerian Rehabilitation and Upgrading of Abuja Kefi Makurdi Road. That's another area where the loan was obtained. Then we still have the Nigerian supply of rolling stocks and depot equipment for the Abuja Light Rail Project and the Nigerian Greater Abuja Water Supply Project. So as a reference point, we can just make reference to one of these. We have details that revealed that the National Public Security Communication System, that's for this particular project, a total of $399 million, and the Nigerian Railway Modernization Project also took the Idu Kaduna section about $500 million. They were both obtained in December 2010 and are due to mature in September 2030. So funds for both of these projects have equally been disbursed at 100%, and Nigeria has an outstanding of $322 million and $403 million to pay upon the security and railway projects respectively. So the point is this: China is reported to be associated with lack of transparency in its dealings with government. It's been a very, very major, let's call it a negative, should we call it something that China has been known for. They don't have a very good record of transparent dealings in all the debts that they've offered to different countries, both in Africa and beyond. So with this, in their dealings with government, especially in the developing world, and with this debt trap diplomacy, that's what they call it. Economists call it debt trap diplomacy. China uses its financial muscle to achieve important strategic and global objectives. So financing projects abroad for China allows it to boost its exports of goods and services. So most of China's financing is in the form of commercial loans, and most of these loans are tied to projects often at onerous terms, unlike multilateral and bilateral organizations lending. And Chinese loans are collateralized by strategically important natural assets with high long-term value, even if they lack short-term commercial viability. So this is because China chooses its projects according to their long-term strategic value, and so they may yield short-term returns that are insufficient for countries to repay their debts. You can see this. So in exchange for financing and building the infrastructure of the poorer countries, China often would demand favorable access to their natural resources, natural assets, from mineral resources to land and seaports. So since the financing terms of the projects are often optimistic about the commercial viability of the project, so once they are in operation, many projects are unable to finance a loan, and from that they put the countries in a debt trap, often paving the way for China to take over national assets and sovereignty. That's a very, very major challenge. Then we see. Okay, sorry about that break in transmission. We are back. All right, so we were saying that since Nigeria has fallen into this Chinese bait, that's the debt trap diplomacy, what more can be done to enable the country remain productive and independent in dealing with the current debt challenge? These are more in this edition of Dialogue Box. So what we are talking about basically is the fact that Nigeria has been dealing more with China, and China has not giving us some very, very strong assurance that the repayment process will be very, very free of some of these entanglements that can lead the nation to, just like what the vice president said, giving away your choice infrastructure to the lender nation to take over because you are owing. So, but because of the fact that there's also the report of lack of transparency that hangs around China is now a major challenge when they offer most of these developing countries loans, but are based on, in exchange for access to choice infrastructure, choice natural resources and assets. So the question is, how is Nigeria benefiting from these loans? And if for any reason they are very, very, maybe that's the right course for Nigeria at this time, how are we maximizing what is on ground for the good of the economy? So these are the things we should be looking at this time. So beyond just obtaining facilities to finance the Zungeri power plant, the Lagos-Ibadan section of the Nigerian Railway Project, whatever, there are several. So these are very, very core facilities that are on ground, but like A caller called in yesterday when we started this discussion and said categorically that even if the country should obtain a loan facility, it should not be to finance infrastructure, that it should be for investment into areas that can generate more returns on investment so that the country can benefit more. But when you obtain loan, maybe to finance power plant, to finance a railway plant or railway project from Lagos to Ibadan, from water supply to agricultural projects. So the question is, how is it benefiting the country? And what is the assurance that these projects are, just like one of our callers said yesterday, the purpose for which they were obtained is being achieved? It's not just obtaining loan facilities. What is the assurance that the purpose for which these loan facilities were obtained is being maximized? So these are some of the areas we are looking at this morning. But this time around, talking specifically about China. China has been a major, let's use the word, customer when it comes to obtaining loans for a while now, since 2010. You can see that between 2010 and 2020, Nigeria has obtained 11 different loan facilities. And let me give you the terms again. It said the loan facilities have been obtained, and they've even set up the China Exim Bank, and the loans all have a 7-year grace period, 20 years tenor, and are obtained at 2.5% interest rate. But they have different varying maturity dates. So, but with this fact, what is the way forward for Nigeria? Should Nigeria continue obtaining loan? Should Nigeria still take more facilities to finance more projects because maybe they don't have enough to finance their budget for this time? Because right now, when we are talking about processing the 2021 budget, the question is the finance that is needed to get that budget to be effective and running well. The most of the time, we always have these deficits, and the question of there's no enough money, so they go on a borrowing spree, and after a while they say okay, they were able to get a certain amount to finance the budget. But should it continue that way? What about our internally generated revenue? What is being done, and how much more can we maximize what is on ground so that we will not be let's call it the kind of slave in that sense to China at this time? Because right now China can have Nigeria at the jugular, and whatever they require, Nigeria will just have to dance to their tune because of what Nigeria is owing that country right now. And that is why the Minister of Transport, Rotimi Amaechi, could say categorically that Nigeria will need about 20 years to be able to pay back what they borrowed from China. So we need you to call in, we need you to send in your comment right now, and let's give it the very, very strong analysis that it requires. All right, we'll have some of the facts are already here. Then I have a comment here coming from Christian. He says, good morning. I don't agree with the narrative. It is biased against the lender, China, instead of the borrower. The Bible mentions a golden rule. The rich rule over the poor, and the borrower is servant to the lender. It's as simple as that. All lenders must insist on a collateral, and that definitely is not a wrong thing. It is business. If they were not comfortable with the terms, why didn't they reject the offer? Why didn't they go to other nations? I seriously disagree that China is associated with lack of transparency in its dealings with government. What happened to the economic and financial team put together to study the loan agreement? Now, 11 facilities down the line, the lender is now evil. Please don't let the discussion go along this line. Let's focus on why we took the loan. Check if it is being judiciously utilized for the purpose and how we intend to honor the terms. Thank you. So this is Christian Etemike's comment. He says he does not agree with the fact that China is not transparent in her dealings. Say because when the loan was being processed, why didn't they study the terms very well, which we know is a fact? And the economic team that studied it, why didn't they look at every part of the agreement to be sure if it's something they will agree with or not? So why is it now that China is now seen as evil because of the terms and conditions which they all agreed to? So we agree with what Christian is saying, but the point from the analyst that said China has some form of lack of transparency is a fact that their terms and conditions are such that they can take, in quote, take over the other borrower nation, and they may not come to fight war with you with physical weapons, but with the economic weapon, they can put you under their control in different forms. So I think that's a concern that these analysts raised by saying that China lacks transparency in her dealings with borrower countries, especially from the developing world. We know that, just like you said, a borrower is subject to the lender, but you can't just say a borrower is subject to the lender and, in quotes, you are taking over the other country. But Christian also has a point. He's looking at it from the angle of, didn't you see these terms before you took the loan? And when you have agreed to take the loan, why are you now complaining? So right now, we should be talking about how to judiciously utilize what we collected. That should be the main point at this point in time. So it's very, very key. We are also looking at that, but at the same time, should Nigeria continue borrowing? So maybe Christian should also give us his opinion on that. Should Nigeria continue borrowing to fund infrastructure? All right, we have a call coming in here. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, BlossomNigeria.
All right, you are welcome. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Your analyst. I'm calling from Lagos. I'm calling from Ikeja.
Okay. So what's your take on the talking about giving Nigeria a more viable economy in the midst of this foreign loans everywhere?
Actually, we should first understand what the aim of the loan is all about.
Yeah.
Yes, we should understand what is the repercussion of the loan. What is the loan being used for? First, we must understand that we should make no mistake that China's loan to Nigeria is out of good gesture. Maybe China loves Nigeria so much.
Good gesture from China?
Yes.
Okay.
The loan from China is not a good gesture to Nigeria.
Okay.
It's not that China loves Nigeria. It's we love Nigeria and we want Nigeria to do so well, so we are giving them loan.
Okay.
That's not the case. It's beyond that.
Okay.
It's beyond that. You see, we must understand that when somebody comes to you to collect money for loan, he comes again to collect money for loan. He comes again to collect money for loan. He comes again to collect. There's something wrong in that, because the first loan you collected, you've not paid back. The second loan you collected, you've not paid back. The third loan you collected, you've not paid back. You are still asking for more. In normal principle, madam, if you go to the bank and you ask the bank to give you 20 million naira loan, and he gives you 20 million naira loan, and you came again and say, give me 50 million naira loan, and they give you 50 million naira loan, you came again and they ask you, and you say, I want 100 million naira loan, they will have to evaluate you. Can you pay back?
Okay.
If the answer is no, they will not give you, because they know that to collect the money back will be a problem.
All right. Okay, sir, let me pause for a second. Let's just take this other call too.
All
right. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Who is on the line?
My name is Christian Exim.
All right, Christian, we just read your comments now when you said you don't agree that China is not a transparent country. So what are your thoughts? What's your take on all of this?
Okay, thank you very much. I was listening to you when you were reading.
Okay.
But I just wanted to call in.
Okay.
Firstly, I want to say that every agreement has a supply chain.
All right.
China did not come to Nigeria. Nigeria went to China.
China did not come to Nigeria, yeah?
They didn't come to offer the loan to Nigeria. Nigeria went to ask for it.
To ask for it, okay.
Yes. And what I wrote, again, the second comment I wrote was that I said new colonialism is a choice.
All right.
It's a choice. If what you read from the Bible that the borrower is subject to the lender, it's as simple as it is. The lender is doing business. If you don't agree with the terms, if you look at the contract, it's not favorable, so you leave it.
You leave it, yeah?
There are so many other countries that, and there are so many other institutions that people know. The reason they went to China was because China's phone was the best.
Okay.
And I'm not sure they did not study the document. Everything is in black and white.
Yeah.
There's no hidden agenda in it. If they tell you that if you don't pay us your money, you will be giving us crude oil for the next 200 years. That's your business.
Okay.
And if you agree, it's your business. It's not hidden. There's no document. There's nothing that is not in the contract that will come up.
Okay.
What is agreed that is there. So Nigeria went in with the full knowledge. And not once, not twice. He said 11. So he's paying them. He wrote the past once that is good. You go and pass again.
Okay, Mr. Christian. The fact is that you've made a very solid point, but going forward, do you think Nigeria should continue on this path of borrowing to fund infrastructural projects?
Of course, no. We shouldn't be doing that in the first place. And one of the major reasons we should not do that is because infrastructural projects it's not an investment. It will not give you money immediately.
Okay, all right. Let's just take it there. Let's leave it there for a second. Let me just take this call and conclude with this person. Just a second. All right. Hello.
Hello.
Okay, sorry for pausing you for quite a while. Now we can quickly conclude with you, sir.
So I was listening to the other caller.
Yeah.
He just nailed it on the point there.
Okay.
He nailed it on the point. Nigerians don't have. You see, for China to give you money, they have interest.
Okay.
Look at some countries they've given money to. Malaysia, Sri Lanka, for example. Do you know that Sri Lanka is jointly owned? China and Sri Lanka jointly own Sri Lanka because Sri Lanka cannot pay back the money they've given to China.
So they've sold their economic rights to China. Okay.
That means China can come in there and take whatever they want to take.
Okay.
Let's even look at Africa. Do you know that Africa has a portfolio debt of over $1 billion they are owing to China?
Wow.
Okay. Number one, Angola. Angola is owing over $25 billion. Ethiopia is owing over $13.5 billion. Kenya over $7 billion.
Okay.
Republic of Congo $7 billion. Sudan over $6 billion. Zambia over $6 billion.
Okay, sir.
Cameroon over $5 billion.
All right.
Nigeria over $4 billion. Ghana over $3 billion. Congo over $3 billion. Democratic Republic of Congo over $3 billion. What am I trying to say? We are owing. So what is the reason? Why is China so much giving? That is what we should be asking ourselves. Why is China willing to give Nigeria loan?
Okay, that's what the last caller said. He said it's business, and China sees it as business, so they shouldn't look at them as being lacking some form of transparency, but it's business. And if they give you terms and conditions and you agree to it, so why complain at the end of the day?
Exactly. Let me ask you a question. Will you give a loan to someone who cannot pay you back?
You believe that it's either he pays or he give you some form of collateral that you can give to.
Exactly. What Chinese government is interested in is the collateral. It's our resources.
Okay.
It's our resources. Number one, you know that Nigeria, we are poor. I'm not talking about in our resources. I'm not talking about our what we have as we are poor. That China can come in here and put in their company and there's no minimum wage in Nigeria.
Okay, our last caller is still waiting and two of you are still like
all right, you can go with him. I'm still awake too.
Okay, hello sir, Mr. Christian. Hello?
Thank you very much. Very interesting discussion.
Okay. So now the question is, why should because right now Nigeria is looking for how to make the economic to kind of make the economy thrive. Let's look at it from that angle. And a lot is being demanded, and it's even leading to inflation and several forms of devaluation of currency and the rest. So what should be the way forward? Because right now, but we must look for a way out.
Yeah. What I was trying to round up before you I said government projects are overinflated.
Okay.
This money that you use to build double or three railway lines to be used in doing one, and it will not be completed. So the best thing is to stop. Work within your means. Budget. Do a surplus budget. Or budget what you. That statistics has been there. It didn't just come out today.
Yeah.
You know, China is interested in what you can do. It's business. They're interested in what Nigeria has that they don't have. So if you know you will not go along, don't go. Nigeria should stop it. We should stop it. We're big enough to
handle.
What has been the progress?
Okay.
What has been the progress of the loans? What have been the ratio, the success ratio of all these loans?
Okay.
The money ends up in private pockets, and that's just the truth.
Okay, now we can actually say that Nigeria has not benefited much from loans, and the foreign debt profile is increasing by the day. So from your own angle, we shouldn't go for more foreign loans.
Pay what we are owed. Pay what we owe.
Okay, and stay within within our resources.
Yes.
Okay, now maybe by tomorrow we'll look into the aspect of how do we really get these resources, because most of these things are not working, and that's why they keep going out for loans, because even the local industries are not as viable as they should be, and several other factors. But maybe we'll leave that for another day. So for today, we are just saying that Nigeria, don't borrow more, stay within your resources, and that's coming from Mr. Christian.
Yeah, sorry, from the 11 projects, which one has been completed?
A lot of them are still they are still ongoing.
2010. Since 2010, which one has been completed? I think the first or the second one should have been completed. But it hasn't been completed. Why? And if you watch, see, the slavery is beyond what Nigeria has. If you watch most of these projects, it's the Chinese that are doing it.
Yes, they still come and even they provide their own resources.
So they are playing their games well. They are playing their games very well.
Okay.
But it's a choice. New colonialism is a choice. If you don't want it, don't go for it.
Don't go for it. All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Christian. We appreciate your call. Thank you. All right. Okay, then our other caller that has also, we would like you to round off on your points, sir, because we still have one or two areas we need to quickly look at. So,
okay, like I said, I agree completely with the other caller.
Yeah.
Because when China is giving you loan, they still come, whatever is infrastructure, like our railway now, Chinese are still the one building it.
Yeah.
So that means if the railway has faults tomorrow, you are still going to recourse to them and call them to come and fix it. You understand? So what we're saying now is that China does not have the best interest of Nigeria at heart.
Okay.
It does not have the best interest, and because Nigeria doesn't have a plan, if there's no plan to pay back this loan, so China is going to come for our resources. Definitely, it has happened in some countries in Africa.
So the only way we can prevent them is to start funding some of those loans.
Well, yes, we should start paying back those loans. First and foremost, how do we even raise money without depending? That's what we should be looking at. How can the government raise money to fund its projects without necessarily going out to borrow money? That is what we should be looking at. That's what we should be looking at. Because like the other caller said, it's colonialism. You know, Mandarin is being taught now in schools. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. Very soon, French will be out of date.
Yeah.
Mandarin will take over. Now, the Chinese money is now being used for international trade between Nigeria
and transactions.
China.
Yeah.
You know very well. In some African countries like South Africa, well, China has their police station in South Africa. They have their police station in Zambia. Until the citizens have to cry out that we don't want Chinese police station in China. How did they get to that? It's because you are owing.
Okay.
The power is subject to the lender. So the way forward now is that we should be, how do we now generate more? One of the ways, number one, we should stop personal interest. We should stop personal interest.
Yeah.
See, I owe the National Assembly, I respect them a lot, but many times they let us down. How can the executive come to you and say we want to borrow money for X, Y, Z project? You agreed. They come again to you and they say we want to get another money for X, Y, Z. They agreed. They come again to you and say we want to put the money for. Why is none of them? We have over 300 House of Rep. We have over about 100 and something senators. None of them is questioning the president.
Okay.
The money you have collected, how far have you used it? Can we see the updates?
That is the question.
It's because there's personal interest. They know that they are going to benefit from it. That's why they're not talking. Okay, if you Google, madam, just Google $500 million. Google $500 million and put our honorable minister, check Chinese loan.
Yeah.
You will see our honorable minister of transportation, AMIDST, asking that they should not be probed. They should not be asking them what they want to use the money for. They should allow us to collect the money. They cannot probe them later. Does it sound intelligent?
All right.
It sounds intelligent. You're asking that we should not ask you questions. What you want to use the money for? That people are going to question you. Don't ask you a question. When we have collected the money, when we have started the work,
okay, then now going forward is that.
So I'm giving the going forward now.
Yeah.
So normally there should not be personal interest.
No personal interest.
Number two is that I still believe in true federalism.
Yeah.
Every state should fund itself.
Okay.
And give money and remit to center.
Okay.
Not only that, all our national assemblies, they should not be paid by the federal government. They should be paid by the state who sponsor them.
That sponsor them, okay.
Yes. If I'm representing Lagos State, for example, Lagos State should be responsible for my allowances, for my salaries and whatever. And let's see where this one leads to. Lagos State should be able to, if I'm sending a representative to represent me, then I should be able to pay them. So I feel that the state should pay, what we have. That's okay. How about the loans we are owing? All the revenue we are getting from oil should be used not to run the nation, but to use pay off the loan. We have other means of existing, means of life. We can diversify into oil, gas sector, agriculture sector.
Okay.
We can diversify into power. Let's see what we can do with that.
All right.
And pay off your loan. Not only that, we should also tighten our internal revenue structure. Tax. No more than 10% of Nigerians are paying tax.
That's it.
So we can strengthen that area.
Okay.
If we have at least 40 to 50% of Nigerians paying tax.
All right.
You may not necessarily have to borrow money from outside.
All right.
How do you get people to pay tax? Everybody have account. Now we thank God for the BVN.
Okay, sir. Maybe what we'll do is that we will invite you for a presentation on how to get some of these things to work. You are full of ideas, but let's just take this other call. And thank you so much for calling, sir.
All right. Thank you very much.
All right, sir. Thank you. Hello. 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 Okay, we lost that call. Sorry about that. All right. So it's been a very, very, the emotions are high. A lot of people are not angry with the current situation because it's like selling off your rights and expecting things to just work out for you just like that, and it doesn't work that way. Let's see if we can quickly take this call before we round off. Hello. Hello. Hello? 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 Okay, we lost that call again. So what we'll do is that maybe this matter we'll have to take another part of it. But what we'll just do is to get every one of us to contribute our quota. And like the last caller said, we all should desist from personal interest. No matter how much we want to look at it, personal interest is not going to help us as a nation. And this idea of we just take what belongs to me and go is not helping either. Let's see, the call is coming in again. Hello? Hello. Hello. Good morning.
This is Xavier calling from Ikeja.
Okay, Xavier, you are welcome to Dialogue Box. So a quick one. What's your take on the current loan profile and talking about moving forward as an economy? What is your take on this?
Okay, my take is that I don't see any reason why Nigeria should be collecting loans from China.
Okay.
If before the coming of the colonial masters, we were able to survive on our own,
Yeah.
not depending on anybody. So why can't we achieve that now? And by the way, I feel Nigeria should have learned its lesson from the institutions that were created in 1944, the Bretton Woods institution, that is the World Bank and the IMF.
Okay.
Because from this, it is glaring that no country is interested in the development of another country. Because these institutions, when they borrowed money to Nigeria, they came and they were like, that want to bring about development after the Second World War. But what has happened now, we can see that different conditionalities came with this money, such as removal of trade barrier, removal of government subsidy, downsizing of public workforce, and so on.
Okay.
So we have to understand that the Western world have no interest in Africa's development.
But African leaders are aware of this, because this is a core fact, and if they don't know, they will still, just like our last caller said, that neo-colonialism is a choice. But African leaders, are they aware of the fact that some of these, yeah?
The thing is that African leaders are fully aware of this. They are aware, because before they give you the loan, they tell you their conditions.
Okay.
But why they're still collecting the loan is because, like your caller said, because of selfish reasons. That is why our leaders have to see their role as a calling instead of an opportunity to amass wealth. They have to see their role as a calling as a call to service, not to come and embezzle public funds.
Public funds, okay. All right. So a quick one. Let's just give you this last one before we let you go. Now, you have made a very strong point that our leaders have to see their role as a calling, not as a means of amassing, siphoning money. So, but what do we now do to achieve this? What is your suggestion on how to achieve this? A quick one from you, sir.
Okay, my suggestion on how to achieve this is that, first of all, like I said yesterday, I commented something yesterday. I said they have to reduce costs.
Okay.
Because the money they pay to our leaders are too much. They have to reduce costs. And after that, they have to create harsh policies that anybody that embezzles government funds, like in China, you can't embezzle their funds and go scot-free. You can see the case of Mago. Now nobody is talking about it. And what we are talking about today is Big Brother. It's so painful that because our youth, I don't know if they don't know the effects of the later effects of all these things that are happening.
Yeah.
Mago, now nobody is talking about it. So they have to create harsh laws. Anybody that is involved in embezzlement of public funds should be killed, should be punished, should be sanctioned. And after this, it's time we stop everybody, like if you see in Nigeria, everybody is always after oil money and so on. No. The University of Ibadan was built out of cocoa money. What happened to cocoa? Before, Nigeria was one of the highest producers of farm products. What happened to that? So we have to diversify, like we have to develop other sectors of the economy. Why are our infant industry, why are they not doing so well? It's because of our government have not put in enough money into the transportation sector. So things like that, we have to look into other ways of getting money, not just about oil money and everybody is depending on the center.
Okay, but diversifying the economy.
Yes, because the center can't keep up. Every local government should provide for itself. Now we have enough land. So why can't?
All right. We would have taken, we would have taken more, but it's time for us to wrap up now. So it's been very interesting talking with you. Maybe we'll ask you to call back. Maybe tomorrow when we are discussing this again, but that's very nice. You made a very strong point that we should diversify, develop other sectors, and not depend on oil alone. Thank you so much for that. All right, we have a lot to still talk about, but it's time for us to go. So what we'll do is that this matter will still come up in other forms. Maybe not necessarily just talking about foreign loan, because we already know that foreign loan is not the right path. Like one of our callers said, that Nigeria should not go for loans again. And we know that the foreign debt profile is very, very high. And if we are to still go with the rate at which we are going, it will take us about 20 years or more to pay off the loans. But if we make up our minds to service these loans and put enough, maybe set aside enough funds to servicing the debt, we believe that a lot more can be achieved within the next few years. And we also have to look at other sectors of the economy, like the last caller said. Oil is not just it. We have different other sectors, from the agricultural sector, different other sectors that can be developed and made to improve and thrive on every side. And while we are doing that, let's not forget that China is still there. They are like the lender nation that is willing to take over choice infrastructure. If you give them the opportunity, they can do just that. So that is why we have to be very, very careful at this time on how to go about our foreign relations. And at the same time, like we said earlier, Nigeria must work out a very strong plan to service this debt. Taking 11 facilities within a 10-year period is not something to just push aside. So we have to put and give more attention to it. So beyond just apologizing to the Nigerians, like Atiku was calling for, it is for every Nigerian to sit up and see to it that they have to contribute to the economy in any way possible. Developing local content, developing agriculture, giving room for industries to thrive, and even the government working seriously on reducing the corruption challenge to the barest minimal. We believe that with all these factors, it will help our debt profile to come down if we are working seriously on it, and our economy will definitely be on the stronger side. Thank you so much for staying with us on today's edition of Dialogue Box. We'll continue our talk tomorrow, still looking at the economy but from a different angle. So this is Dialogue Box on Blossom Nigeria. You can visit our website on www.blossomnigeria.com, and also you can visit us on Facebook, Blossom Nigeria on Facebook. You always find us there to make your comments and also to add your opinion. So for now, I am Blossom, and I believe in the Nigerian dream, and like we always say, contribute your own quota to nation building. Thank you so much.